everyone, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I wanted to talk about luxury investment pieces in the kind of traditional monetary way of defining what an investment is. So where you buy something and then when you go to sell it afterwards, you'll make a little bit of a profit from selling. And yes, we all know that if you were to buy an Hermes Birkin or a Kelly directly from the boutique and then you go to sell it afterwards, chances are you're going to make some money from doing so. But aside from that, what other luxury items can be considered investment pieces in the same type of way? So I'm going to be sharing some categories of luxury items where this is actually true. And what I think is more interesting is I'm actually going to share examples from personal experience of items that I have sold and made a little bit of a profit from selling them. And I want to add the disclaimer here that I am not a reseller. I don't buy things with the intention of selling them for a profit. I don't hoard unicorn items and then turn around and sell them off right away. These items were just things that I bought that either never worked out for me or after using them for a while, it just no longer fit with my lifestyle. And honestly, I hesitated for a long time whether to make this video or not. I had the idea for this video a while ago, but I was basically scared to put this out there because I know there are people that feel really strongly that you should never sell your luxury items for a profit. But I thought about it, and if someone out there had this type of information, I would like to know about it. So that's why I decided to share it with you guys. Hopefully it is helpful for you guys in some way. Maybe you have some of these items sitting around at home and you don't use them, and maybe this video will trigger you to sell them off. So yeah, I am going to be sharing examples of luxury items that are investments. But I'm also going to be including some caveats to this because it's not all rainbows and butterflies, and I'll get into it more as we go through this video. So the first category on this list is fan favorite Louis Vuitton monogram canvas pieces. And yes, Louis Vuitton does produce a lot of leather items too, but let's be honest, they're really the most known for their canvas, and specifically the monogram pattern for their canvas is what's the most popular. And if you look on resale websites, the monogram print does tend to go for more than the same item in like Damier Ebene or Damier Azur. And specifically, if you bought one of these canvas items ages ago, since the canvas does wear so well, it's really durable and whatnot, if you bought it a long time ago, just because of the price increases alone, you would be able to sell it for more than you purchased it for. But there are certain styles that, they're fan favorites. Not just influencers love them, but also normal people within the luxury community do also love them. So I remember way back the Neverfull, before it became so saturated and before everyone seemed to own one. At one point when it first came out, it was really hard to get your hands on this bag, and if you had it back then and you were to sell it because you found out that it was not very comfortable, it was too big of a bag for you or whatever, you could have sold it for more than you purchased it for. Now, not so much because, like I mentioned, it is very saturated at this point. In more recent years, there was the Pochette Métis and the Palm Springs Mini that was also a similar type of situation. And the most recent ones that I can think of are, for example, the Nano Speedy or the Multi-Pochette Accessoire. And personally, I did sell my Nano Speedy for more than I purchased it for. This was after having owned it for kind of like close to 2 years. So yes, it did go up in price a little bit because of price increases, but also that bag is just really popular. But the caveat to this is that it doesn't last forever. Like, for example, as I mentioned, the Neverfull at one point could have been considered an investment piece by this type of definition, but that's not the case with the Neverfull anymore. And the thing with Louis Vuitton items is that over time it does get very saturated and people kind of tire of them. I think it's kind of gotten to that point too with the Pochette Métis and the Palm Springs Mini, and It's probably going to happen to the Nano Speedy and the multi-pochette accessoire in the future too. But yeah, if you wanted to buy something from Louis Vuitton, keeping in mind that you don't want to lose too much money if you were to ever sell it, definitely look specifically at their canvas items. And if you like the monogram canvas print, go for that over the other ones. Now, as I mentioned, an Hermes Birkin or Kelly is definitely a luxury investment piece. It's probably the first thing you think of, right? If I were to ask you what luxury item to buy for an investment. And following that would probably be a Chanel Classic Flap, especially if you had bought it prior to the most recent like 4 or 5 price increases. If you were to sell them, you could probably get your money back, if not even more than that. So yeah, Classic Flap for sure is an investment piece, but a reissue is also an investment piece in the sense because they go up in price the same as the Classic Flap does. So every time the Classic Flap goes up, the reissue also goes up, even though it's not quite as popular as the Classic Flap is. So with the reissue, it will take you more years to actually be able to recoup your money. So if you only had to own the Classic Flap for like 5 years, for example, you probably have to own the reissue for like 8 years maybe. I'm just estimating, I don't have exact numbers here. So yes, I did actually sell my reissue and made a profit off of it. The thing with my reissue though is I actually bought it for a discount. Even though it was brand new, I actually bought it for less than a retail for because I had an employee discount. I did work in kind of like the luxury retail industry at one point, so I bought it with a discount. So it took me less years to actually get all my money back. I think I had purchased that in 2017. And yeah, I just sold it towards the end of last year and I was able to make a profit off of it. So yeah, even though it's not quite as popular as the Classic Flap is, it still is a Chanel icon. It still is a very classic item and it's been around for so long. So if you hold on to it long enough, definitely it is an investment piece. Number 3 on this list is limited edition patterns on already popular items. And usually it's mostly for SLGs or other small accessories like twillies and whatnot. Bags in these limited edition patterns, sometimes you can consider them to be luxury investment pieces, but it's really safer to go for the small things that are less flashy. You know, when it's on a bag, sometimes these bags are not very wearable. So yes, people will buy them, but the demand for it will drop very, very quickly. But it's much more likely for like little pouches or card holders and whatnot to really retain its value or even go for more. So for example, the Spirited Away collection that recently came out with Loewe, I would consider that to be kind of like an investment. That was definitely very popular because Spirited Away is very popular, especially in Asia. And whenever Louis Vuitton does their Christmas animations collection, those are always really, really popular too. There are some years and some designs that do better than other ones. So this most recent year that passed, I had purchased the mini pochette, which is a very popular item within Louis Vuitton. It's always sold out. It's hard to find in stores, online, everything. That pouch is so popular. So of course the Christmas animations version of the mini pochette would be really popular too. And I think I kind of even lucked out because the one that I had purchased happened to be the most popular design out of all the ones that came out. Overall, yes, it is an investment. Even if you look at older Louis Vuitton Christmas animations ones, for example, I think the Paris one as well as the Vienna one, those were also really, really popular, and those were years back and people are still looking for them. So yeah, even if you had purchased one of the ones from the previous year and you held on to it for much longer, I actually sold mine pretty soon after because I realized it wasn't for me. But even if I had held on to that for a few years and then sold it later on, because Louis Vuitton is not re-releasing that, in a few years people would still want it and they would still pay over this year's retail price for it. And for this last category, please let me know if it's as much of a surprise to you guys as it was for me. And the category is Hermes scarves. So I am mostly into handbags within this luxury space, so I was not aware that there's this whole community of people who are really into collecting Hermes scarves, whether it be new designs or vintage ones from like 40, 50 plus years ago. Hermes has been making silk scarves for so many years, and they've come out with so many designs, and it's not often that they re-release a pattern. So if someone wants to get their hands on an old design, they really have no choice but to look on the resale market for them. And what I've noticed is there's constantly new collectors of these scarves. So yes, there's always people that are looking to get their hands on these older designs. So when I first bought my Hermes scarves, I basically just bought the ones that I thought were pretty. If I liked the design, if I liked the colors on them, I had no idea that I could end up making a profit off of some of them. Not all of them ended up selling for more than I purchased them for. I think I sold 5 scarves in total, and when you think about all 5 scarves tallied up, I just managed to break even. But yeah, some of them ended up selling for more than I purchased them for. So yeah, when I purchased them, I had no idea that I could end up making a profit off of them. You know, who thinks that you can sell a used scarf for more than you purchased it for? I mean, I definitely didn't know. And that's basically the reason that I came up with the idea for this video, because this was a shock to me. And it's funny because not long after I started this YouTube channel, I had gotten an email from someone wanting to purchase some of my Hermes scarves, and that was before I knew how much they were worth. So I had actually quoted her a really low price. It was actually a loss for me. And what's funny is that she didn't even accept that low price. So it was kind of a loss for her, but a gain for me, because I eventually did find out how much they were worth, and I sold it for, you know, like what they're actually going for in the market. But by no means am I telling you to go to the Hermes boutique and buy every single design they have and every single colorway, every single size of scarf that they sell. That would be absolutely crazy, and you would lose so much money from it. But if you happen to have some scarves lying around at home, if you purchased them yourself but don't wear them, or maybe it was something that was gifted to you or something that you inherited, take a look at the resale websites. You might be completely shocked at how much they're going for. And what I've actually noticed is I think a lot of people get Hermes scarves as gifts, but they have absolutely no idea how much they're worth. So if you look on places like Poshmark especially, you could see that some of these designs are selling for basically pennies. And yeah, unfortunately, those people don't know how much they're worth. But if you watch this video, then hopefully that doesn't happen to you. So that is it for this video on luxury items that are investment pieces and will make you money. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful for you guys. And I definitely understand that because I do have this YouTube channel, it is a little bit easier for me to sell some of my items compared to those of you guys who are not active on social media. But for these things that I mentioned in today's video, I still think that you could potentially sell them for a profit. And I definitely firmly believe that if you're not using something, there really is no reason to keep it around. There's no reason to amass this giant collection. And I've definitely sold many things for a loss before. You know, for every one item in this video that I sold for a little bit of a profit, there's a bunch of other ones that I did not manage to make my money back from selling them. So yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. Please do give it a thumbs up if you did. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do consider subscribing for new videos every single week on luxury and fashion. And I'll leave 2 videos on the screen for you to watch next. So I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.